Hey everyone, and welcome back to Storytime. We're still on Roman Diary. So, day 22 of the month of Iulius. From the moment I woke this morning, I could only think of finding Apollo. Yet this was the very thing I could not do, for the villa is a very different place from our house in Rome. There my master and mistress lead busy lives and hardly notice if one of us is missing. Here they are idle, with nothing better to do than counters and ask, "Where's Cythera?" Or, "I haven't seen Ileona for some time. Where's she gone?" So instead of searching for my brother, I had to be content with glancing from the windows to see if I could spot him. When I finally plucked up the courage to ask whether I could see Apollo, my mistress said curtly, "Perhaps tomorrow," and sent me to put the baby to bed. Here, Cythera and I had separate rooms. We all retired early to bed this evening, which had given me plenty of time to write in this diary. Day 25. I finally met Apollo. Having seen me sulking and kicking my heels about my task, my master asked me what the matter was, and I said I longed to see my brother. "Then you shall," he said, and he sent a message that the bailiff, who runs the farm, should fetch him. When the bailiff finally arrived with the boy, I stared and blinked. Was this Apollo? Only when he spoke my name, I was sure, and I ran and threw my arms round him. Then I stood back and gazed at him. He was quite changed. He wasn't just thinner. He had bruises on his arms and a red scar around one ankle. Worse, perhaps, were his eyes. They darted left and right, and he had the expression that I once saw on the face of a stag as it fled from the hunt. I asked him if all was all right before answering. Apollo turned to the bailiff. Only when the man nodded did he reply, and then in stuttering Latin, "I'm fine," he said. "They treat us well here. Work is not too hard, and we get enough to eat." All this came without expression, like the worst actors I had seen in the theatre on Mytilene. Then he said in Greek, "I've missed you, but I can't stay long. We are weeding the vines, and if I don't return, my friends will have to do my row as well as their own. Goodbye." He kissed me, and he was gone. Day 26. I made friends with the house's dogs. They're huge and black, whereas the herder's dogs are all white. I was curious about this, and asked the bailiff, who told me, "Why think about it, girl? A guard dog must be black so the thieves who come in at night can't see it. The herder's dog is white so he's not mistaken for a wolf." Day 27 of Iulius. Last night I was woken by the small noise of something dry and hard falling on the floor outside my room. Outside I heard a slap of bare feet running from my window. I crawled around to try and find whatever it was, or whatever had been thrown in, but it was too dark. In the morning I found a short piece of bone. One side was scratched in a pattern. I took it to the window, and in the sunlight I realised I was holding it upside down. There, in tiny Greek letters, was a message: "Come, our huts in 2 nights." I didn't know how Apollo found out which my room was, nor did I think I could wait that long to see him again, but I had no choice. So I continued with my tasks as if I was still in Rome. Here, though, time seemed to crawl past, for in fact there was little for us to do. This morning my mistress decided that she would like to take a walk with the baby while Cestius was teaching the boys. What this really meant was that she walked while I carried Lydia. From the road, we could look down upon row of vines stretching into the valley, and up to the steeper slopes lined with olive trees. My mistress's conversation was mostly about how difficult it was to make money from a vineyard. I paid little attention till I heard her saying, "And that's where the labourers live." Day 29. Zeus must have been smiling on me last night, for there was a full moon. Once everyone was in bed, I had no difficulty slipping out of the window and running down the drive through the moon shadows of the olive trees. Now I have learned the truth about Apollo's life on the farm. "Ileona, I can't begin to describe how awful it is here," he told me. "We're prisoners. We must live on coarse bread and olives, and work 8 days in every 9 from dawn till dusk." I asked him what happened to his ankle. One of us tried to escape. They picked him up, whipped him, shaved his head, and branded his leg with an F for fugitivus, a runaway. "But your ankle, I'm coming to that. The overseer said we must all have known about the escape, so for a month we worked in chains. Then Gaius Martius arrived without warning one day, and saw what we endured. He sacked the overseer, putting an old slave in his place. Now things are not as bad as they were. We've got new clothes and time to rest in the hottest hours." A dog began to bark, and I was glad I had made friends with him. Apollo poked his head out of the hut. "You better go. Don't try and come here again. It'll be real trouble for both of us." He pushed me out, and I sprinted back to the villa. Only this morning did I realise how close I could have come to discovery, for the daylight revealed my dusty footprints heading from the drive to my window. Day 15 of the month of Augustus. Our stay in the hills finished today, and we are back in Rome. I did not see Apollo again, apart from when we came just close enough to wave. My mistress frowned a silent warning when I asked if we could talk. Before we left, we had one exciting moment when rumours spread of slaves deserting a nearby farm. The shutters went up, and the dogs were released just in case we should all have our cutthroat in the night by the fugitive. In the end, though, it turned out just to be false gossip. Thank you. Bye bye.